So I'll tell you how to go and install Argo UML in your laptops. So you go to this website and then you just click on download Argo UML. So you'll be getting this, save this file, and then you double click on that. You're going to run this file. The only thing is you have to have a Java runtime for running this particular software. So you see to that you have a Java installation in your system. So it will ask you for where your runtime environment is. You can select it, or you can go with a download of a JRE by default. Okay, so install this and click on install. It will take some few minutes, and then your setup is going to be done. So I'll show you how to use Argo UML. I'll just show a small demo of this. So you can just go and click on the installation Argo UML. You're going to get this window like this. So this is where you're going to construct all your class diagrams. First, let me show you how to construct a very simple class diagram. So for class, you go with new class symbol here. Click on it. That's it. So you have three compartments. What should be in the very first compartment? The name for the class. So the name for the class, I can also give it very well here. I can type it here. I'll say that's an employee class. So this is the class, and you say the visibility, you can select whether it is public, package, protected, or private. So you can go with the selection of this. You can also select whether it's an abstract class or not. You have the options here. If you select this abstract, it will be an abstract class. Once when you are done with this, what are the things you will add to the class? You can add attributes and member functions, right? Okay, let me go and add some attributes. How will you go and add an attribute? You can right click and then say add new attribute. So you can go and give the attribute name here. What is the attribute? Say if I am going to add employee ID, that is the attribute name. You can also select the type. If it's integer, string, or what type it is, you can go and select that. Say if it's integer, I'll leave it as integer. I talked about multiplicity, right? Whether it's an array of objects or one. So you have the multiplicity factor given here. So you can, I'll just give it as 1 because employee ID is going to be just 1:1 for an employee. And you can also select the visibility of the attribute, whether it is public, protected, or private. So I'll leave it as public. And here the owner scope is given, whether this is a static variable or not. So if you just select the owner scope, see it shows that in an underline. It underlines that attribute saying that it's a static variable. So these are standards of UML that they have followed in this tool. This tool uses UML 1.4 standards. Okay. So we can also specify some initial value. So there's a box here for initial value. This is like the default value that should be populated in a variable once when the object is getting created. So initial value, we'll just leave it like that. And we also have documentation here. Documentation in the sense author, who is writing this? Satish. We can give some version 1.0, and we can give some documentation about this, like class for an employee, something like that, some comments kind of thing. So all these things we can add. One more thing we can go and add is attributes we have added. The next thing is methods. How will I add a method? Just right click, add new operation. So you can add this method, view profile info. Okay. So you can go and create your class using Argo UML. So what we can do is, once when you create a class, you can also generate code for this. So you go to this particular option, generation, and generate all classes. So this is going to generate code for your class. Say I can select any one of the languages here. Say I want to generate code in Java. I can click Java, and then I can browse to a folder where this code file should be populated. So let me browse to a folder. Say I'll have this in the code folder here in my documents menu. So this is the folder I'll choose, and then I click on generate. So I should be having this particular file wherein I should be able to see the code generated for my class. So I have this documents and I have the code folder. So inside this folder I can see a file generated for employee. So when I click open this employee file, you can see a Java code has been generated for that particular class. So if I have underlined that, it will say static integer. And you see this is the method I have added, public void view profile. If I have given some return type, then it will say public int that particular method name. So you can go and generate code by a click of a button. It will give you the overall structure for your code, and you can very well develop that using tools like this. So this I have told you in the last class, this is forward engineering. From the model, you can go and generate the code for your entire project. So there are tools that support reverse engineering. If I give the code as input, it will also construct the model for me. So that is the use of this tool, and that's how you go and construct a class diagram in UML.